Today, I want to follow up on allergies and how to combat seasonal allergies in your body. And really, I want to take a deeper dive into the root cause of allergies. Seasonal allergies, environmental allergies, and even food allergies all fall into this category. So specifically, allergies are caused by a histamine reaction in your body. And histamine is a neurotransmitter. So this is an interesting process where your brain plays a specific role in the articulation of histamines. And ultimately, histamine is an underlying component in your body's inflammatory response. You have your immune response and then your inflammatory response that can yield puffiness in the sinuses, puffy eyes, gunk and mucus production in the eyes and nose, coughing, and even in some cases, hives and allergic skin reactions. Now, if we go deeper into the source of histamine-related responses and the neurotransmitter control of histamine, we need to look at your gut health. So essentially, there is a connection between your body's allergy response mechanism and the state of your digestive health, your gut health, because your gut health controls a large majority of your neurotransmitters and the signaling and communication pathways from your gut to your brain. I cover this more in depth in my gut health masterclass, which I'd invite you, if you're looking at going really deep into the inner workings of your gut and the connection to the brain and other body systems, I'd recommend taking that. But specifically, when we're looking at gut-related imbalances, we have to look at gut microbes, the actual mechanics of your microbiome. Microbiome essentially is a fancy term for the assorted bacteria that is housed in your digestive process. We also have bacteria on our skin. We have bacteria in our oral cavity. Every mucosal membrane has bacteria. And in fact, when we look at our DNA, we're primarily like 99.9% bacterial DNA and 0.1% human DNA. Sounds shocking, but that's kind of the way it works, where we are interfacing and have this collaborative effort and relationship that's symbiotic with bacteria. Now, when the gut is involved in terms of histamine reactions and allergies, we are needing to address an inflamed and imbalanced gut process, as well as imbalances within your gut microbiome, meaning an imbalance and dysregulation or dysbiosis of your gut microbiome. And so things to do to address the histamine response that's causing allergies is to make sure you do not neglect healing your digestive process. So for instance, if you have leaky gut, that can be a big source of allergies. It can be a big source of the histamine reaction in your body. I happen to work with particular patients that have histamine reactivity, and this falls in the category of POTS and mast cell dysregulation, where the histamine reactivity of the body, the source is coming from a dysbiotic gut, a dysregulated digestive process that ends up becoming systemic in the inflammatory response and the histamine response. This is really common when folks experience hives for seemingly no reason. So your allergic response to dust or pollen or grass or mold spores or any type of food that's causing you to have that histamine reaction, we need to address your digestive process for that deeper healing. So I've talked earlier about some of the topical and more kind of everyday things to calm the symptoms of allergies. But if you want to address the root cause of allergies, you want to address healing your digestive process. And here at Organixx, we have two amazing resources. I am a huge fan of the bacteria type called Planetarium, L-Planetarium. This is very powerful and it's in the probiotics. This is a really good microbiome balancer. There's a lot of research in this particular strain at helping lower some of the inflammatory response mechanisms and that histamine response that a lot of individuals have. Find a lot of patients find success in taking that particular bacterial strain in a probiotic form. And then also for helping heal leaky gut, collagen is extremely powerful, as is colostrum therapy. But specifically, collagen can help restore and rebuild the junctures of the small intestines that are loose or leaky, that are causing food particles and allergen sources that are triggering histamine in your body, i.e., an allergy response mechanism. We can heal those junctures by adding collagen into the body. And I'm very excited because the Clean Source Collagens is a very wonderful blend of 5 different types of collagens. So it's synergistic in its potency and capacity to help heal leaky gut and tighten up those junctures. Because what does collagen do? It creates a vertical and horizontal structure to skin and our mucosal membrane and our single cell lining. That's our small intestine. That's so fragile and so influenced by mucosal imbalances, bacterial imbalances, and an internal response mechanism to a virus or to a pathogen or a parasite. Collagen can help rebuild that. So I hope these 2 tips help you take a deep dive into healing your allergies.